This weekend, I was working and I was called in early to work an event, and it was a cigar event. I work at a restaurant, and there was a cigar company that came in and did a little event out on our patio, and got called in early, worked real hard, and they were like, "You're gonna split the tip with the rest of the kitchen workers." And I was like, "Great." The tip was a box of cigars.
Oh,
And
that's awkward.
I'm 20. I cannot legally buy cigars. I was hoping for a cash tip, but didn't get nothing.
Hey, good work, son.
Yeah.
Here's some cancer logs for your hard work.
Good work, buddy. Here's a bunch of cigars. Go.
Oh, gosh.
Don't smoke them all in one place, man.
God,
Jeez. I would have been fine with like $5, but
that's what I'm saying.
whatever. What about you?
Oh,
How's your weekend?
I had an interesting weekend at work. I ripped my pants the other day. I guess I could talk about that.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, you work at a restaurant, so you know what a low boy is.
Mhm.
A low boy is a cooler that's about hip height, and there was a sharp handle on the edge of the cooler, and I guess there was a small hole in my pants near my pocket.
Mhm.
And it caught on the handle, and it ripped from my hip to my knee and just split wide open. Now, luckily, we're all fun and close with each other at work, so it was more funny than it was embarrassing. It was just I'm dying of laughter, and we got some duct tape from the back in the maintenance room and just taped up the pant leg.
I was gonna say you probably had a nice draft the rest of that shift. Nice and cool.
But yeah, that's kind of what happened to me this past week.
Sounds like an interesting weekend.
Oh well, just recently my car was severely damaged at work the other day, so that was real fun.
Bad.
Yeah, late night right before closing at work, we had some I'll say hooligans.
Oh dear.
Donutting around in our parking lot, which was real fun, and so that inevitably led to them busting my lights on the front half of my car. All is well and taken care of, or will be, but I am operating on one headlight.
Oh my gosh!
Because of that, and a slightly bent hood, which is cool.
That's ridiculous. That's going to be a decent amount to cost to fix that.
Their problem, not mine.
Oh gosh, my small talk story for today. I was at Sheetz, semi recently, and I was closing. I got out of work. I was like, I want to go to Sheetz. I'll, get some gas, maybe get some food because I'm kind of hungry. And I was on the phone with my girlfriend in my truck, and just I'm doing what normal people do. I'm looking around, glancing. I'm looking around because I got nothing better to do. I'm talking on the phone, and I briefly made eye contact with this guy in a truck, like kind of next to me, and I didn't even think twice about it. I just kind of looked the other way because you don't want to make awkward eye contact with someone. And I'm like about to hang out with my girlfriend when I hear like some hollering just outside of my truck. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, here, give me a second, babe. I gotta go do something. I open up the truck, and this guy's like, just stop staring at me and get a girlfriend. He's like going off. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like screaming at me like that I'm staring at him when I maybe glanced at him for a second, and I'm just, what is going on? And I heard what he actually said. He was like, stop staring at me and get a girlfriend. I'm like, well, ironically, I'm on the phone with her right now if you want to talk to her, and like held the phone up towards his direction. And he's just like so angry he's unable to form words, just like and then just sped off and drove off. So that happened.
I imagine he was still making noise as he drove away. So it's like
yeah, just the people you run into at Sheetz, man. And like that all just happened just because I made very brief eye contact with him.
What a crowd.
Yeah, I had quite the interesting day today. I almost had my phone like completely destroyed right in front of me.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, so I was at lifting today and was kind of just doing my own sets, doing whatever I was doing. We typically have like our programs and kind of stuff all over the floor. That's how we kind of have organized ourselves, which is kind of counterintuitive because something like this would happen.
Yeah.
So my lifting coach was unloading one of the bars that he was using and just so happened to drop a 45-pound plate directly onto my phone, directly onto it. I didn't even see it happen. I just heard the plate fall. It was one of like the rubbery ones.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, it wasn't like a metal plate that was on it. But yeah, so I kind of turned around and I saw him pick up my phone and he was like, oh, oh no. And I was like, oh, like, it's okay. Like, it's fine.
It's
and
fine.
yeah, it was not fine. I picked up my phone and it didn't like crack or anything, but like
That's good.
the screen was completely black.
Oh,
and
God.
it was bent. Just like like the top portion of the phone was like bent a little bit. So I had to reassure him for the next like hour and a half that my phone, like, it was gonna be okay. Everything's fine.
No.
It's an old phone anyway. Don't worry about it.
That's an expensive fix. If it's that.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to get it back home and plug it into my laptop and was able to like restart it. So it's working now, but the bend is still there, and the screen's just a little bit warped.
Maybe the like curvature will fit your hand better.
Yeah, I mean, it bent the way that it did because of the pop socket on the back of it.
Oh,
so if I wouldn't have had the pop socket, it probably wouldn't have done anything.
Oh yeah.
So
Dang.
yeah, but luckily she's still with me.
Yeah.
So
It's tragic to lose a cell phone. I've had it happen like once before.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very interesting, specific small talk story today. Okay, so I'm hoping all of you listeners can relate because this is something here at Edinburgh. I've noticed in the dining hall, there is a table with an outlet on the top in the middle of it.
Oh my God. My God.
Now, me saying that, what is your first... the first thing you're thinking, what's an issue there?
So outlet on top of the table.
Yeah.
What if someone spills their drink?
Yes.
What
if you spilled your drink? Now tell me how many people this went through, how many like patents, people that were like building this table, like, dude, I have an amazing idea. What if we put an outlet on the
top
table?
of the table?
Like, because then you can charge all your stuff while you eat. And like, how did one person just not go, dude, what if you spilled your drink? Like,
it's a foolproof design. Really,
really? There's no issues at all.
No issues whatsoever.
But my friends and I mean, I think you were there the one day we were
I was
talking
there
about
for
it.
for the birth of this discovery.
It was just like the biggest inside joke for so long. But if you're in Van Houten, I can't remember how to pronounce it. If you're in there on the sides of the dining hall, look for a small table with an outlet in the middle, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's got little furnished chairs on the side too. Yeah.
You should put your drink on there and see what happens. So you can charge your devices while it sits there. It's foolproof.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not a safety hazard whatsoever.
Not in the slightest.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
All right.
So I got to know the cereal order. Do you put like the milk in first, the cereal in first, the spoon in first?
I'm definitely a cereal first kind of guy. Cereal, then milk. The spoon and the milk order doesn't matter so much to me, but definitely cereal first, then milk.
I definitely agree. Cereal first, then it's the spoon for me, then it's the milk.
Yeah, you guys in the comments should definitely tell us what your order is and make an argument for why in God's name you would ever put the milk first. Makes no sense. You would just splash your milk everywhere when you pour the cereal in. It just doesn't make any sense.
I feel like I have a tendency to not trust people who pour in the milk first.
It's a red flag for sure.
100% a red flag.
For my little small talk segment, I just found some fun facts about cereal. I didn't know much of any of these until I read this. So, the word cereal derives from Ceres, the name of a Roman goddess of harvest and agriculture. So,
interesting.
Would have never thought there was a Greek meaning behind the word. March 7th is National Cereal Day. I'll mark that on the calendar. Be sure to celebrate this coming year.
Me too.
The first cereal grains were domesticated by early primitive humans about 8,000 years ago. I wouldn't have really thought about that. But I guess in their time, they probably wouldn't be putting it in a bowl with some milk. So it was probably different. 50% of Americans start their days with cereal. I occasionally indulge in some sugary cereal here and there. Americans consume 101 pounds or 160 bowls of cereal per person every year.
Wow.
That's a lot more than I would have thought. And cereal's very lightweight.
Yeah, that's
surprising.
No, that is that's surprising to me.
I guess that'd
well.
be like the average person. Like if you had a bowl every day, like every morning. I don't know. I'm definitely surprised. Yeah. The cereal industry uses 816 million pounds of sugar per year.
That is a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it almost doesn't surprise. Like the numbers is surprising to me, but I mean, it's not surprising that crazy amount of sugar is added. Like we are basically having dessert in a bowl for breakfast.
No, like I totally agree because like if you look at like a sugary cereal like box and you looked at like nutrition facts and stuff. Yeah. Just how much sugar is just in one box.
And even in one serving is like concerning, like just a serving of cereal. And that's another fun fact. It's not even on the list, but like most of the time you go and look at your serving size for a bowl of cereal, it's way smaller than the bowl like you end up pouring for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's so many calories, so much sugar. It's a lot. But I mean, hey, we all enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
I think the last one I'll go with is Rice Krispies mascots, Snap, Crackle, and Pop briefly had a fourth brother named Pow in the early 1950s.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why do you think they like got rid of it?
I don't know. Maybe it was just like too much, like Snap, Crackle, Pop, Pow. Like
maybe was it like
too many
or too like violent? I mean, not that like Pow's like violent,
True,
but like
yeah. I mean, can see where you're coming from.
It's like a kid cereal type of brand. You learn something new every day.
I guess so. I mean, I would have never known that.
They should keep it.
Honestly, they should do a throwback year and like just try it out and see what people think of it.
No, that would be awesome.
Or bring them up in a commercial like their long lost brother that floated away on an iceberg.
Oh, that sounds so sad.
They're like, I found you. I'm back and been gone for over 50 years.
Oh my gosh. No, definitely would be good for like an anniversary, like
good marketing idea. Maybe like 100 years of Rice Krispies or something.
We should join their marketing team.
I think we should send them an email. Wait, here, I have another small talk story. Oh my gosh. This will be brief, but you brought up like Kellogg's.
Yeah.
And so Kellogg's also makes the Nutri-Grain bars. Okay,
yeah.
And my friends and I, this year, we would go skiing every Sunday. And this stupid joke would come up about Nutri-Grain bars, and that's not the important part. So my idea was that they should come out with a line of Nutri-Grain bars that are like packed with protein, call them Nutri-Gain bars. And you know, we're all talking about it on the ski lift, and I'm like genuinely invested in this idea. And I'm like, I should send them an email. And of course, my two friends are, oh yeah, you should definitely send them an email. I
am totally all for that.
I ended up actually sending an email.
Are you serious?
I'm going to read you what I said and what they said.
No.
I wrote, I have a business idea for Nutri-Grain. What if Kellogg's came out with a new line of Nutri-Grain bars that are specifically high in protein, like a protein bar? Here's the catch. You call them Nutri-Gain bars. It's a clever twist to the original name and also a newer slang term that refers to gaining muscle from eating and working out. Let me know if you guys are interested in my proposal. Contact me with any questions. And a few days later, I'm not lying. You can see this email right here. They said, Luke, thank you for letting us know that you have a great product idea for the Nutri-Grain bars using protein and calling them Nutri-Gain bars. We are glad that you care enough about our foods to offer your ideas. Although we cannot accept confidential ideas, your idea matters to us because it helps us understand current opinions and trends. Your insights help us continue to offer foods that are loved by people around the world. Thanks. Thank you again, Luke, for contacting us. All the best, Kellogg's.
That is... I'm speechless. I literally don't even know what to say right now. That's awesome. Yeah.
We were like genuinely all joking around, just joking around on the ski lift. And like they convinced me to actually write that. And I never would have thought I'd actually go through with it. But
just like imagine one day you're in the store, you're in the grocery store, you're going down the aisle looking for some good old Nutri-Grain bars, and you just happen to look and see Nutri-Gain.
And you're like, no, $1 million idea. They stole it from me.
I'd be like, wait, like flashback till now, you telling me about that.
Well, now so many people are going to hear about this. But it was, you know, a tad bit embarrassing, and I'm sure like the person reading the email turned to their like person across from them like, can you get a load of this guy? Like, what kind of bogus idea is this? And then like the manager overhearing the conversation is like, no, we got to get on this. This guy, he's up to something.
Honestly, don't be embarrassed about it, because I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. So this one goes back a little bit. You know, when you're at work, you sometimes just want to get out that energy after a long day. You know, all this pent up wanting to just roll down some hills every now and then. And this was after a shift. It's probably around like 10:30, and we got out.
Shift, yeah.
Oh yeah, closing shift. We got out and we saw that there was this shopping cart over by the Verizon parking lot.
Okay.
And, you know, we already don't like Verizon in the first place. So we're like, what can we get up to here? So we go over and, you know, there's no one around. There's no cameras or anything. So we're just like, oh, we can have a little fun here. So we get the shopping cart. We push around people for a bit. I end up getting in the shopping cart for my turn, and completely unrelated to what was going on, the police showed up.
Oh, dear.
It had
Perfect
something to
timing.
do. Yeah. It had something to do with work. Like I guess like the door wasn't closed all the way or something.
Okay.
So the alarm was going off for a bit. So then they pull in, and we're all still in our uniforms.
Oh, no.
I'm just sitting in this shopping cart in the Verizon parking lot. Everyone else is around, and I'm like, shoot, I should not be here right now. So I like slowly reached to like take my name tag off, because I was like, I don't need them knowing what's going on. I don't have an alibi right now. I'm like, officer, I'm just I brought this from home. I was doing some late night shopping. So they ended up leaving. We were all good. They told us to just have fun, but like be careful. And we're like, well, in that case,
Okay.
So we just took the shopping cart. There's like a hill that's like right outside the work. We just pushed ourselves down the hill a couple times.
Like down towards Delta Sonic?
No, like
Or-
where
the grass?
The grass, yeah, where the ravine.
Oh, my
is.
gosh.
We didn't go all the way because the grass was still, it wasn't cut yet.
Right.
But, you know, we did end up getting some scrapes and bruises.
Oh, dear.
But it was a good time.
Nice.
And we have yet to see the shopping cart since.
Dang. R.I.P. the shopping cart.
I missed it already.
I got another like work related story. This is pretty short. I might have told you about this at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We have box cutters at work because we occasionally have to open boxes, and with box cutters comes dull blades, and you got to change them out every now and then.
Oh yeah.
And usually whenever I change out my blade, I put the old one inside of one of our side containers so it's sealed off and nobody cuts themselves in the garbage when they're taking it out.
Safe.
And I don't know why, but the genius idea is sprung upon me that I'm like, hang on a minute. We have a side of like shredded cheese. I'm going to put some cheese in with the razor blade. And then with a Sharpie marker on the top of the container, I wrote extra sharp cheddar. I'll throw it on the screen so you guys can appreciate this. But
beautiful.
Yeah, razor blade and some cheese, extra sharp cheddar. I mean, passed it around to everybody in the store. Yeah.
Accidentally gave it to some kid's meal, and they were like,
oh,
that poor child.
Hey, I wanted mild cheddar. This is too strong for me.
They tell you to be careful around Halloween with getting like
the razor blades in your candy.
No, it's razor blades in your cheddar.
Oh no,
Your Chick-fil-A.
I can never trust my cheese sticks again. You go to Sheetz and order some cheese sticks, and there's just a suspicious blade poking out of it. Oh, it's our new extra sharp cheddar.
Extra sharp.
I got a really good small talk story today.
Yes.
I think it might be my best one so far. I'm going to tell you about the ruined vacation. This happened sometime when I was going into middle school, like between 6th and 7th grade, like around there. My family and I decided to take a vacation to a lovely part of the U.S., Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. And, you know, it sounded great. You know, we're going to go stay in a cottage not far from the beach. I'm a big fisherman, so I was looking forward to doing all kinds of fishing and whatnot. You know, we get there, good drive down. It's scenic. We have good weather while we're down there. You know, the first first couple nights are great. I'm catching fish. I caught a stingray and a shark. I just had all kinds of fun, had a blast. And, one day I come home from like fishing all day and I just go to bed, everything's fine. And I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear some commotion going on in the other room. I'm like, God, what is going on? I'm trying to sleep. Knock it off out there. And it turns out in my parents' room, there was a baby bat on the back of my dad's neck. And he woke up like freaking out, of course. And he yoked the bat across the room and he squashed it with his boot and they killed it. And they were just like, all right, geez, we got to go back to bed. We got an early day tomorrow. And so we preserved it in case it was rabid, and we sent it in to wherever you send it in to get it tested for rabies. And they said, hey, the bat's too small to get tested for rabies, so we're gonna say better safe than sorry, and you guys are all gonna get rabies shots, just in case. Because apparently baby bats, when they bite you, like it feels like a mosquito bite. Like you probably wouldn't be able to tell in your sleep. So they said better safe than sorry. You guys are all getting rabies shots. So this is where the problems begin. We drive like half an hour to the nearest hospital where we were going to get our rabies shots. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're actually out of rabies shots here. But there was a nearby incident the other day where a rabid fox wandered into a bar and a bunch of drunk people were trying to capture it, and they bit a bunch of people and they had to get rabies shots. So we ended up driving someplace like an hour, maybe 2 hours away to the next nearest hospital to have to get rabies shots. And oh my gosh, I've had many shots in my life. Those things are some of the most painful things I've ever endured. Seriously? The side effects that you get from rabies shots are insane. First of all, they make your muscles hurt so bad, like incredibly sore. It feels like someone is constantly like poking your arm as hard as they can. It does not feel good. It makes you feel like queasy and dizzy and a headache, just horrible. And then they did the hemoglobin, which goes in your leg, and you like I straight up barely could walk because it hurt so bad. It made you so sore. And then and the campground that we were at refunded our entire trip as a hush hush to like not tell the health department or whatever, because this place had a really bad bat problem. Like, wow. Think about this: an ocean environment, really humid. The mosquitoes should be really bad there. We didn't get bit by a mosquito the entire time. That's how bad the bats were. Yeah, and you'd be in the cottage and turn on the stove to cook something, and because of all the gases and stuff, you'd hear all the bats shooting out of the walls and going outside. That's how bad the bats were. There were piles of bat poop literally up to your calves everywhere, like because they would kind of sit in the corners of the cottages, and there were literally piles of bat poop like up to your ankles. It just crazy. So we got our entire trip refunded. I think they ended up getting shut down at some point because of how bad the bats were. But that's my small talk story for today.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I also got a similar short bat story if you want to hear. So, this is set last summer, right? Last summer. It's late at night. I'm laying in my bed watching TV, and it's dark in my room. Yeah, because I only have the TV light. I'm watching a movie, and all of a sudden I hear a fluttering, like a quick flapping. Oh no! And I'm like, "What the heck is that? What?" And I aim my phone flashlight around my room, and then I spot something. I look back. It's a bat. And no. I'm like, oh God. So as soon as I see it, I immediately get up, not in a hurry because I don't want to scare it, but I'm like slowly moving towards my door, open, and close. And as soon as I close the door, I can hear the
Oh
bats.
gosh, just fluttering around the
Yeah,
room.
just flying around. I tell my parents, like, hey, there's a Batman room, and mind you, it's like past 10 o'clock at night, and my dad's like, screw it, I don't have the energy. You're sleeping in mom's bed. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I slept in my mom's bed that night, and in the morning, my dad's like, yeah, I'm not gonna take care of that. I gotta go work. And
Oh,
so
she just left it there.
no, so here's the thing. I work for my dad in landscaping.
Okay.
And I work with two of my high school buddies. We work together in landscaping for him. So, and I had to go to work that day. So my dad told me, hey, Bryce, he's a hunter, right? He hunts in the summer. I was like, yeah, he hunts. Okay, great. Have him take care of the bat. He probably can do that easy. So I at work, I go up to Bryce like, hey, you hunt, right? Like, yeah, sure. Like he had that tone.
He knew something was going on.
Exactly. So he's like, so I'm like, well, yeah, there's a Batman room. My dad doesn't want to deal with it, so he's assigning us to deal with the bats. Like,
Oh gosh.
and Bryce and the other guy, Hunter, they're both like, okay, sure. So we head over to my house, and my mom, bless her soul, she is all prepared for us. Like, she's got out sweatshirts, gloves, sunglasses to protect us. Like, we look like we're going into war. Like, and now Hunter and Bryce, they're assigned into capturing the bat. Hunter's got a pool net.
Oh no.
To capture him. Bryce got a garbage bag. And my job, now my shades weren't up. So I was able to go up on the roof and look through my window to see where the bat was. So I'm up on the roof, right? And at some point, mind you, it's in the summertime. It's 80, 90 degrees in mid-July. And I can just feel the heat pouring down. I'm up on the roof for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Because there was not a good time for the boys to come in. The bat was flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And we had to wait until the bat was to stop flying. So I literally took off my shirt in the middle because I really want to know what my neighbors' reactions were. Like, they're looking outside like, honey, why is the Stewart kid shirtless on the roof? Like,
without context, that had to be great.
Yeah, so I'm shirtless, telling the boys to hold it, wait for it. They're waiting outside my door. The bat finally gets to near my window. I can see it. It stops, and I'm like, okay, guys, you're good to come in. Now, before I get to the next word, mind you, my suggestion was just go in and whack it.
Yeah.
And
so it sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, literally get a baseball bat, just whack it. And everyone's like, no, we're just going to capture. Yeah, they come in. Hunter grabs it, gets the pool net over it, and they get it to the floor. And they stuff the garbage bag over it, and you can hear it. You hear it going through the garbage bag. In a quick panic, Bryce grabs the nearest flashlight in my room and just whacks it. Whacks it. So I'm like, yeah, we may as well just came in whacking it at that point. So
yeah, what was the point of going through all that and sitting in the 80-degree heat?
And it was,
oh my gosh,
it was a good thing that we whacked it anyway, because here's the thing: if we had let it go, we would have come back. Because they come back to their home. We didn't know that till later. They go back to where they
Well, the doctor said if I ever encountered rabies again, that I would just need a booster shot. So if you ever got like a rabid animal problem, like, you can give me a call. I'll come down and take care of it. I'll just need a booster shot if I get bit.
I haven't gotten a booster shot yet, so I'm very curious. Well, that'll do for me.
You know what the worst part is? You don't know how long that bat was in there until you noticed. He could have been in there for an hour or so before you noticed.
It's so weird. Like,
were you watching Batman at the time? Like when...
no, I was watching a Spider-Man cartoon. That's what I was doing. So
Oh my!
It would have been great if I was watching Batman. Yeah,
it would have fit the aesthetic very well.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't expect you to also have a bad story. That's great.
And then, like you told me before we started, hey, if you come up with a short story, that'd be great. And I get through my brain, and then you bring up bad stories. Like, oh, hey, I got a bad story. That's perfect.
I wonder how many people have a bat story.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's gonna have at least one.
Oh my gosh, I have another bat story. I'll make it quick.
Like my parents, when they first got their house like 20 years ago, they had like bat infestation in their house.
Oh my gosh, bats are the worst. They're not. They don't look very approachable. They're creepy looking. My other bat story, which I'll keep pretty short, is I don't remember who, but we had a guest over at our house.
Sure.
And they were in the living room, and I went downstairs to go grab something, and I look at the top of the stairwell, and it's far from me, but I just saw like a blob of something black on the wall. Yeah. And like I turned around to go grab something, and then I did like a double take, and I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, it's a leaf or something. And then I look, I'm like, oh no, that's a bat. That's a bat. Now I'm a hunter, so I got, all the gear and stuff, but I'm not going to go blasting a 12 gauge shotgun in my house. So, and mind you, a guest is here, and we're trying to, keep this secret so they don't know, because that would be embarrassing. Like, we have a bat in the house. So I go get my dad and like tap him on the shoulder and like motion for him to come towards me. I explained the situation to him, and like we came up with a plan in like seconds. Like, it was impressive. I was like, Dad, I have a BB gun, right? It's not going to kill him. It's just going to knock him off the wall, and it won't like hurt it by shooting it in the house. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, I'll get a garbage bag and I'll just catch him as he falls off the wall, because it looked like he was like sleeping on the wall. So I load up the BB gun, put one shot in it, pump it up, pow. I hit him like, I didn't kill him, but I hit him like enough, and he just fell straight down and went into the garbage bag. My dad caught it, ties up the garbage bag real quick. I don't recall what we did after that. I can't remember if we let him go or put him out of his misery or what, but that was another one, and the guest had no idea anything happened.
That's amazing. You're able to keep it from your guest.
It was like a whole operation happened while there was a guest at the house.
You guys come back. The guest is like, so where were you two at?
What was that noise I heard with it was like a shrieking, almost echolocation. Oh, no, I was just practicing in case I ever go blind. I always practice my echolocation. I'm like Matt Murdock.
I do, as a matter of fact. So it was last year we were actually doing a blood drive at my my high school, and we all go to the gym and we do everything, sign the paperwork, all that, yada yada yada. But I'm sitting there and she's talking to me. She's asking all the questions, and she's going to prick my finger. Well, apparently my body did not like that, and when she pricked my finger, I passed out. Oh. And I was out for it wasn't very long. It was a couple of seconds, but I ended up actually like falling down in my chair.
Oh yeah.
And when I got up, like when I came to, she comes over and whispers in my ear. She goes, "You peed yourself a little bit," and I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Do you have pants on or shorts?
Jeans.
Jeans. So it really showed.
It was showed. It was all down my. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And to make it worse, my phone was in between my legs, so I peed on my phone.
No. Oh no.
But yeah, I ran to the bathroom.
You ever gonna give blood again after that?
Actually, I have. I've done blood work and all that, but it was just like a freak.
Yeah, freak accident.
Freak accident. But yeah.
I'm dipping way back into my childhood for my small talk story today. I think I was 3 or 4 whenever this happened, but my my family, we did foster kids. We had some foster kids in the house. And one of them, I think his name was Brian. And him and I, we're 3 years old. So I live out in the country. We're just kind of playing in the yard, probably playing superhero or something. And we're at the bottom of my driveway and we look up and my worst nightmare as a 3-year-old kid, there's a black bear standing at the top of the driveway. And of course me and Brian are like, no! Just sprinting into the house and saying to my parents, there's a bear outside. There's a bear. And of course, with 3-year-old kids, they're probably my parents told me that they were just yeah, bear's outside. Ooh, yeah, spooky. Yeah. And then the way they described it was they said they saw the fear in my eyes and they look outside and sure enough, there was a bear.
You could smell fear.
So I was within 20 yards, maybe 15, 20 yards of a black bear.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid. Came out of nowhere.
That's surprising it actually got that close to you guys.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happened after that. I think it just moseyed its way on, past and kept going. Yeah. But it was weird. Yeah.
Black bears are surprisingly gentle creatures. They don't mess with you unless they're messed with.
And the grizzly, though.
That's you don't want to mess different with. Story.
Maybe if we would have put our hands up and make ourselves look a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I'd like to open the podcast with a question.
Okay.
If you could eat one thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Could I make it like a dish, like a meal that has multiple parts?
Mine is a dish, but it doesn't necessarily have sides. Mine is just a main entree.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. I would choose, I'm sort of split. What I would lean more towards is poutine. If you don't know what poutine is, thanks to our friends up north in Canada, it's fries, gravy, and cheese curds.
Love me some poutine.
Delicious. I love it. I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. I would also probably pick jasmine rice. I just love jasmine rice.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's good. It's hard for me to pick one single thing, but my favorite foods are steak, a nice ribeye steak with a good sear on it, medium rare.
Oh.
But also, dude, stuffing.
Oh, man. Thanksgiving's coming up.
Stuffing is literally so good.
Here's another question for you.
Okay.
Do you like regular stuffing or the stuffing that's in the turkey?
So it doesn't really matter to me. From what I've been told, it's not really sanitary to have stuffing. You're supposed to have quote unquote dressing where it's not made inside the bird. But I'm sure maybe it has more flavor when it's stuffed in the bird.
I think it has more flavor.
More drippings and
I like that kind of stuffing more than just regular.
I mean, I haven't had them side by side, so I guess that's why I'm not really thinking of it. But man, stuffing is just probably dude, I could eat so much stuffing, dude, and it wouldn't even
probably the best Thanksgiving dish stuffing.
Yeah. It is so good.
It's so good.
Also cheesy potatoes or funeral potatoes, whatever you call them.
Funeral potatoes.
I've heard them called funeral potatoes, when they're the cheesy potatoes, not scallop potatoes, but
okay.
Potatoes.
Okay.
Scallop potatoes are good. But anyway, back to the main question.
Okay.
If I had to pick one thing, probably a Wagyu ribeye. Hard to go wrong there.
You see, that would be my last meal.
Your last meal?
If I had, I think.
If you went to prison?
if I was incarcerated. No, but I feel like a last meal is different than a meal that you would eat for the rest of your life.
Okay, yeah.
So my last meal would be a steak because I love steak. Yeah. I don't think I would eat steak every single day of my life.
Well, yeah, but you're pushing a hard bargain here. I gotta eat one thing for the rest of my life. Yeah. If I could make this hypothetical dish, it would be a plate with steak, stuffing, and cheesy potatoes or I think that's probably
sounds like a meal to me.
Yeah. I know I'm probably pushing the boundaries of the question here, but I think that's probably what I'd
It's
choose.
a very thought-provoking question. Getting philosophical today.
Well, I got a question to rebound off of you.
Okay.
If you could have one drink for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One drink.
One beverage.
That's a hard question.
It is a hard
because
question.
I like a lot of drinks.
Same.
I think it depends if it would be like a soft drink or like a tea.
That's true.
Because
there's a lot of different categories.
Yeah, I have a favorite soft drink and a
thing.
favorite tea.
How about like soda? Like, if there's one soda.
My favorite soda is Cheerwine. I don't know if you've ever had Cheerwine.
It is very good.
It's like a North Carolina soda. It's not very...
It's underrated.
Can't really see it up here in our location, but it's underrated. It's just like a cherry soda. It's so good. I love it. So probably Cheerwine.
Cheerwine?
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, I think I might just straight up go Sprite.
Ooh.
I like me a Sprite.
Ooh. A nice crisp Sprite.
Sprite.
Oh man. Sprunk. A nice cold sprunk.
I think that's what I would choose. That's a hard one though. I feel like it's harder for drinks.
It is pretty difficult because looking at our drink tier list coming up here, there's a lot of drinks.
Yeah.